Hello and welcome to Stampin' on the Hill. I'm Deb Keyes, and it is April 23rd, 2025. And I want to know, have you signed up for the new Stampin' Rewards program? I know it's new. It just went into effect on April 15th. I know tax day, but we had good news that day as well as the tax day bad news. Um, Anyway, it's a wonderful new program where everyone who orders can earn Stampin' Rewards on every order over $20. So the minimum is $20, but you can accumulate those and use them whenever you want. You can use them as soon as your next order, or you can let them accumulate and then spend them on something, a larger purchase amount. So I wanted to just make you aware of that, find out who all, show of hands in the comments, who all has already signed up for that. And if you haven't, better get out over there and do that. So I have today a fun fold, and I'm calling it an envelope style fun fold. I'm going to just jump down and let you see what an example looks like, and then we'll make one together. So here is my example, and this is a little bit older paper and such, but this is how it works so that you can see, and then I'm going to show you how to make it. So we're going to start with a bunch of stuff. So I'm using the Bloom Impressions DSP, which was free with Celebration. So that's that, and I'll get back to the instructions for that in a minute. My basic white is 5¼ by 8, and it's scored at 4, so that's right in half. So it's kind of like a little bit smaller than a regular card base. And then I have just a single piece of Blackberry Bliss, which is 5½ by 4¼ So this is the actual regular medium-sized envelope card base, except that it doesn't open. So it's just the thing, just single. Okay, so we're going to, let me, hang on. Let's get back to this a minute. So my original piece I've got a couple different pieces here, and I'm going to show you what I did with it, but I wanted to let you know that I started with a 12 by 12, and I cut off a 4 inches. So for me, here's the tip of the day, I guess. For me, if I cut 4 inches, that means I can get 3 4-inch strips out of this, and then I try to use 4 inches because that's usually one of the layers, is a 4-inch layer. So that's how we're going to use this today. So I took my 12-inch strip, and I had, let's see, it started like this, right? Turn it over this way so you can see. So it started like this. So I cut from the 4-inch strip, I cut off a 5¼ piece, which is this piece. So 5¼ by 4. Okay. And then I cut a 3¾ inches off of it. And then I cut it at 3¾ So this is square, 3¾ inch square. And then this is my leftover piece that I had from this is what my original 4-inch by 12-inch strip looked like. Okay. So we're going to set some of these pieces aside for now. I'm going to use that side. This one, then I ended up scoring diagonally from corner to corner. And we're going to just fold this in half, and we're going to use just whichever side. Let's use this side. So what we're going to do is, let's do some stamping first. And I'm bringing in a Blackberry Bliss ink pad, and I'm using the, what's it called? Unbounded Love. And it's easier to see when I stamp it. But so we're going to stamp. I'm going to stamp on like the top side of the card. So I'm going to stamp, may all your wishes come true. I'm going to stamp this on the top first, right in the middle. There we go. And then let's close this up for, oh, you know what? Let's just stamp. Here's another tip. I'm going to, this is just a scrap, okay? But I'm going to use this die. And the die is from, I have to check my, something fancy. Okay. Check my notes here. But okay, so the dies, so I just have a little piece left. And so I usually take my die and I look around and I say, well, where will it fit? So here's a suggestion of how I look for mine. So I tried it here first and I thought, oh, it's just a little bit over. But if you flip it over, you can kind of see, I'm going to bring this up a little bit closer. You can see where the cutting edge isn't as far out as the actual edge of the die itself. So if you put it under here, you might be able to get it to fit in a smaller space than what it would look like. This one almost fits, except there's just a little bit of edge here. So we're going to put it over here instead. Anyway, and I know that it fits here because of that. So I'm also going to take and I'm going to try to put this right in here because I know I usually tell you stamp first and then you can arrange your die around it or your punch around it. But this time I'm actually going to do it like this just because I want to make sure that the die is actually going to fit in the space. So you're a true blessing. That's going to be our, and then we will cut this out. Close this up a minute and we will, give me 2 seconds to grab the machine and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to put this onto our, can't really see what I'm doing. Maybe, let's see, we'll go this way so you can see it. That should be better. All right, so I'm going to put this here, try to center that in there. And then my plate to sandwich it will come in here. Move this out of the way. And so there we go. So this, we're going to save that for the end. So we've got this and this. We're going to take this piece that we folded and we're going to attach this end to the back. Okay. So let's get some glue out. Let's hope the glue is running today. That would be nice, wouldn't it? All right. Oh, look at that. It's my lucky day. I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. Oh, that never happens for me on the first try, does it? Too funny. All right. And I'm going to, because I'm using the liquid glue, I have a little bit of wiggle room. So I want to make sure that the flap is going to fold down and that I have it exactly in that crease there. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this whole flap and we're going to glue it to the center of here, or the whole section. So we're going to just glue this all down. And want it to be kind of centered in here. I can fold this up too, so I can make sure that it's centered. All right. So this is how it's going to work. Now this piece we're just going to put right on the front of here. You could do either way. I used a non-directional DSP so that it didn't matter. You know, you don't want your lines or whatever, or your, I don't know, I can't think of what else there would be, but these flowers doesn't really matter which way it goes. So let's add some glue to this and we'll glue this onto here. And this is taking up the whole, now it's kind of the back, but the whole card front itself. Okay. And then this goes here. I'm also going to take that little piece that was left, and I'm going to just cut. It's going to fit right here just perfectly, but I'm going to cut like a 3/4 inch piece off of here. When I'm doing like an inch-ish or less than an inch, I always use the right side of the gutter here. So 3/4 this way, which I think is nice because it's not so wide that it's gonna be, so we're just gonna glue that in there. That'll work. Okay, just give it a little something. You could put something at the bottom too. In my example, there was lots of space up here to write and down here to write, and I'm a little bit more simple than that. So we're just going to leave it like this, right up to the edge. There we go. All right. And you could definitely decorate the bottom if you wanted to. So now this is going to close. It's a little tight right here where I just put this. So just realign it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put dimensionals. We're going to use 2 dimensionals on the back side, but on the very outsides, as outside as I can get them to this. There's one. Of course, it's going to fall sticky side down. And here's one. So what we want to have happen here is we want the flap. I'm kind of gauging to see how far up I can bring this. I want it to stay straight, but we don't want to glue the flap down. So we're going to pull these off, and we're going to, now if you just set it gently, you still have time to reposition this. So I'm going to kind of go like this. Now I've got it. This is up from being flat, and I'm kind of eyeing where it's going to go. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. So right here, as I'm moving it up and down like this, okay? And so I have it like that, and I'm going to move it down just a little bit, just so it's not as tight a fit. All right, and we'll push that down, and then this just folds right in there. So there you have the envelope fun fold. Here. So that was a fun one, wasn't it? I didn't make mine as fancy as the model that I used, the example that I showed at the beginning, but I like it, and I like how it opens like an envelope. Anyway, the new catalog is coming out, or I actually have them. If you want one, message me and I'll get one to you somehow, whether I meet you in person or mail it to you, whichever. You can also see it online. And if you don't already have a demonstrator, please choose me. I would love to be your demonstrator. Again, with the Stampin' Rewards, the new program, make sure that you need to have an online account for that. And anyway, just make sure that you sign up for those. If you already have a Stampin' Up! Account, it'll ask you when you sign in next time, it'll ask you if you want to opt in, and make sure you choose yes for that. I will be at the Holton American Legion May 2nd and 3rd. So if you're in the area and you're out shopping or sailing or whatever you're doing, please stop in and say hello. I will have cards, and I've been making some treat boxes for maybe little teacher treats. It has chocolate in them. So anyway, come out and see me. Until next time, thanks for watching.